Hello everyone, I'm so excited for today's video. I am bringing you a brand new reading vlog. I just got a library notice on my phone. I just started trying to use the digital, like putting books on hold and they'll have them transferred to your library if you don't have them there to go pick up. And I got an email this morning telling me that the book that I had put on hold or requested to be transferred is ready for pickup today. So I'm gonna go pick that up today as soon as they're open, and I've got to go do a drive to somewhere kind of thing for work today. So I'll just go pick that up on my way through. I will show you guys the book I'm talking about. So I hope you enjoy the vlog. Y'all, I accidentally got coffee all over my purse. Hermie, you hear me complaining? Hello. Hello. Oh, I need to clean your face, baby. He's got really bad sinuses, y'all. Hello. So oh, that's in the way. I just got home from work shortly, about less than an hour ago, and I'm pooped. But it's Friday, so that's good news. We just went for a nice little walk and we threw a stick that we found and he loved it. He had a good time. I didn't get any video of it. We were just enjoying the time together without the video camera. He's so sweet. I hate that Daddy couldn't be there, but you know how it is. He had to stay late today. But I wanted to show you guys what I'm gonna be reading this weekend. Got a couple of manga that I might work on. I'll show you what I'm currently reading though. And then I have never used my local library's like online catalog holding system for books before, and I was like, you know what, my library doesn't always have books that I want, and I don't know if that's because people just happen to check them out before me or if they just don't cater to my reading taste. Like they get requests from people of stuff they like and it just doesn't match with what I like. So what I did was a few weeks ago I requested a book be transferred to our library and placed a hold on it, and so a library that's a couple towns over sent over the book. So I've been wanting to try this one. We used to live here. This is by Marcus Klewer. I'm bad with names, but this has sounded really good when I've heard other book people talk about it. It's less than 400 pages. Let me see exactly how long it is. It's just barely over 300 pages. I think this is something I could fly through quickly if it's as good as people make it out to be. The only thing I don't like about this so far is the way that they bound, like the way that they did the, you know how libraries will do their, the wrapping of the hardcovers? I don't like the way they do it compared to how our library does it. I hate it. I hate it because it's like barely hanging on, and it's gonna get in my nerves when I'm reading the book. I know it will. That is literally the only reason I don't like reading books from the library, is the literal physical feeling of reading one of their books that isn't paperback. And a lot of their books are hardback, and so I just struggle with not being able to take that off and it just make noise and bother me when I'm reading it. But that's literally the only reason why I don't check out more books, but I need to do it anyway. There are so many books that I want to read and I'm curious about trying and that I have access to for free, that being the number one thing, that I want to try and not spend $40 on the book unless I really like it, and then I will buy a copy to keep in my collection. So this is what I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna start using that hold system at my library and try books, and if I hate them, I hate them. I can just return it, no big deal. I know that everyone who's ever had a library card knows that, but you know, sometimes I forget that I don't have to spend money to enjoy literature and the library's resources. And so I just have to remind myself, and to maybe remind others, that maybe y'all have the same problem of just forgetting that the library exists sometimes, and that they do have services. Like some of them have audiobook services that are free, and some of them have like ebooks that are free. And then a lot of them you can get stuff transferred if your library is really small and doesn't have what you are looking for. Mine's not too small. It's just, it has more of like historical stuff and kids stuff than it does books that I tend to like. book. They have like a new section, but it always has like weird literary fiction that I'm not interested in, or historical literary fiction. And that's just not typically my thing. Every once in a while I'll find something that I like in that genre, but you know, I struggle with finding like new thriller, new horror, new things that I want to read. Even fantasy, they don't really have a ton of it. They've got a couple of new ones on the shelf, like the Feybound book or whatever, but they don't really get a lot of the new stuff. And if I ever get to like a really good financial point, I do want to donate like brand new books that come out to the library like that, but I would need to get to a better point in my life to do that because books are expensive. But yeah, I'm gonna stop spending so much money on brand new releases if I can help it. So I'm going to be utilizing my library more, and I do recommend that you do the same, especially in this day and age when all the money in the government is I don't know what's happening. No one knows what's happening at any given moment, and we need to support our libraries because we don't know how much longer we have them, what they'll turn into one day. Just don't take them for granted. Use them whenever you can, even if you just go in, check in a book. Find a book that no one's gonna read, check it out, keep it till its due date, turn it back in. That way it's using the library and they can see that it is a needed resource for people and that people are actually using their library. So that stuff matters, and I hope that you will consider doing the same. Most libraries are totally free to be a part of. I've never been to one that charges for anything. Yeah, just make sure you're utilizing your libraries, okay? PSA over. I just realized I never told you guys what this book's about. So I don't really remember much. Let me just read part of the synopsis and then relay it back to you. So there's like a gay couple that they flip houses, and so they moved into this new house that they got a really good deal on, which, you know, that's always a good sign in a horror book and horror movie. So they're working on the house, they get a knock on the door, and it's this family, I think, and they're like, oh, we used to live in this house, can we come in? And then they do some weird stuff. I don't know anything else besides that. I just know that it gets weird, and I love like isolated horror stories like this. I think that it could be really good. I've heard some people that I trust their horror opinions talk really highly of this, so I think it's gonna be good. I'm really excited, so let's get into it. I'm reading We Used to Live Here, and I wanted to give you a quick little update before we go to our Saturday morning karate class. This is essentially a book about, now that I've read it a little more, I can explain it to you. This is essentially just a book about this girl who she's waiting for her her partner. I can't remember if they're married, but they're lesbians and or gay, whatever. They're gay and they live together and they renovate houses, they flip them, they resell them. That's how they make their living, and they're struggling, so they buy this house. It's super, super cheap. They think they're going to demolish it, but one of the girls is at the house by herself while the other one's gone to do something. And this family comes up and's like, hey, can we come into the house? We used to live here. I'd like to show, or I used to live here, the dad was. Can I show it around to my kids? And then creepy stuff, like the daughter disappears, and so they're trying to look for her in the basement, and it's really creepy. So I did not update you as often as I should have on this book, but I did finish it this weekend. Started it yesterday, finished it today. It was a super easy to get through read. So I went into this thinking that it was going to be a story about some home invaders and maybe they turned evil. That's not necessarily what this turned into, but I was hooked, lined, and sinkered the entire time. It was very intriguing. I was very concerned for this gay couple who were following. There's bits of Morse code thrown in some of the research chapter bits, so I was excited to get to the end and translate that, which I did without spoiling the book. All I can say is it's compared to Parasite and Get Out at the beginning, and it's apparently drawn from a lot of Reddit, no sleep Reddit stories, which is really interesting. I love the idea of Reddit people created stuff turning into games and novels and movies. And he does apparently have a movie in the works for this, which is really fascinating. I'll have to go watch it. But I was really drawn into this from the beginning. We're following Eve, who's the main character, and her partner Charlie, and they get this house and they're gonna fix it up or tear it down, whichever they think is necessary for their flipping job. And it's very unclear from the beginning what route this book is taking. Is it taking the she's losing her mind slowly throughout the book route? Is there something supernatural going on, or is this just bad people doing bad things going on? So it's keeping you on your toes throughout the entire novel. I was very pleased to not know what was happening until around the end of the book. I feel like if it had been revealed too early, it might have just dragged on and been very boring and just been like, come on, let's get it over with. It was just the right length. I was fully into every chapter because we're following Eve through the house and she's trying to sneak through it at points, and it's very terrifying. And then our main antagonists are mysterious, and you don't, even at the end of the book, you don't quite understand their motives or who all is technically involved in this. There's also outside forces being involved. And so even towards the end of the book, I think that the ending was pretty cut and dry as to what actually happened. They give you like a little ending teaser to let you know, okay, this is what was happening out of those 3 scenarios. This is the one that was actually happening. But it was really creepy. I do recommend if you want a scary, thrilling horror novel. There wasn't really, I don't remember any gore. Maybe there was and I'm just forgetting it. But I don't feel like it was too grotesque for someone. Well, there's a scene where someone gets like stabbed or whatever, but I don't think it was that graphic. So if you're really, really looking for something fun to read, go check this out from your local library if you've got it, or go purchase it. It was a really fun read. Successful library checkout. I haven't had one of those in a while, and I'm really glad that I gave it a shot. It was fun. I'm gonna think about this for a long time, I can tell. Probably will end up buying a copy for my shelves anyways, but it is fun to, for one, use your library, and 2, find a book that you do enjoy without having to spend the money on it first. I wish more people would read this. It's his debut, and I think that he did a fantastic job. I want to check out the movie, so I'll be sure to let you guys know what I think of that if I think to watch it later on. It's supposed to be on Netflix, I think. Yeah, it makes me want to read more horror. I really, really enjoyed how it made me feel reading it, how I felt crazy myself. Reading the pages, I didn't know if I was misreading things or if I was reading the right things and the character was losing her mind. I didn't know, and I think that's a great attention to detail throughout the story. Was sometimes little things would be changed, sometimes the character would acknowledge the changes, and sometimes she wouldn't even notice. So I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't know what I want to give this. I don't think it's a 5-star. I think it was lacking a little more terror for me to give it 5, but I think I'll give it a 4-star. This was a lot of fun. Maybe I'll change by tomorrow. I'm going to do another night of thinking on it, but for now I'm thinking 4 stars. 4 stars solid. Maybe even 4.25 or 4.5 for this book. Good morning. I hope y'all are doing well. It's Monday again. Hey, so I need to make this vlog a little longer, so I'm gonna read one more book for this video. I just went to our local indie bookstore. One of my pre-orders came in, and I also ended up picking up a second book while I was there, but I'm just gonna show you the one I pre-ordered first because it's one that I've been talking about here forever, that I was excited to get, and I've loved all other books by this creator that have been translated into English. I'm so excited. This is Vanishing World by Sayaka Murata. It's less than 300 pages, so I think I'm gonna fly through it really quickly. I hope it's as good as the other 3 that I read, because her work is so freaking weird and gross and creepy and like eerie and uncomfortable, and that's literally my favorite books right now to read. So I cannot wait to read this. I'm gonna take you along for the journey, so I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I wanted to update you guys on the book I just purchased that I wanted to talk to you about, the Vanishing World by Sayaka Murata. I am on page 34, and you guys, this is a very short book. This is so weird. Now granted, That is what I'm here for, okay? I have loved everything that this writer has written. They've all been translated, but so far I have not been disappointed by any of her books. This one is feeling like it's gonna be weird too. Right now we're with this young girl. I think she's in middle school or high school, maybe high school, junior high, so middle school. She's in middle school and she lives in a world where her mother teaches her from birth, they live alone, that her and her husband copulated and created her, a baby. And so she was led to believe that that is normal, that's how babies are made. But in this society, she finds out later that it's actually really weird and it's looked upon as being gross and immoral, like incestual, if you do that physically with your spouse, because you're family now. So it's incest or something weird. So it's like a really interesting take on the future and creating people. So everyone is like allowed to fall in love with whoever or any characters they want to. Like you can be in love with like SpongeBob or whatever, who she has a character from a show she likes, but you can pick a character and fall in love with them and that's your boyfriend or girlfriend, and everyone takes it seriously because that's common. And then if you want to have a baby, you just get inseminated and you have a baby in a hospital and that's it. Like that's how people are made in this society. And they haven't really gone into a ton of detail about that, but I don't really need that much detail on that because that's not really the focus of what Sayaka Murata usually writes about. She usually writes about a character who is completely unable to see the wrongness in what they're about to do and convince other people to do. Okay, I got a phone call, I gotta go. But essentially what's really weird about this is that she's convinced a boy and her to do the actual like copulation, and she's convinced him, and it's really weird. It's really weird. I don't want to give away too much, but oh my god. Okay, so I just finished Vanishing World by Sayaka Murata. I wanted to give you guys a final update on it. Like with her other books that I've read, this is one of those books, I even saw this worded in a review on Goodreads, that really encapsulates what I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to copy that person. They said, okay, I finished the book, so now time to stare at a wall forever. Like just space out staring at the wall for like 6 hours. And that is so true. Like the majority of the book, it's a lot of dialogue from the main character to her family, her friends, her co-workers, her mother, about what is family and what is love and what is sexual desire and what makes us as human or animals, they call themselves animals a lot, so interested in copulating normally or falling in love or having a family dynamic. Like what is the purpose of that? And in this futuristic setting, they've pretty much gotten rid of the need for copulation traditionally. It's like an old way of thinking, you know, it's considered incest if you have sexual relations with your husband because he's your family now. And it's really interesting, but it did get very repetitive. There was a lot of this book was the main character just grinding her axioms and talking about her beliefs over and over, and the things that people believe and the things that she now believes and the things that she used to believe. She's kind of battling between wanting to fit in and feel normal with society, and then also on the other hand, her mother supposedly like put a curse on her to feel the old way. So it's really, really fascinating seeing her inner monologue and her conversations with her husband. It's so backwards but yet futuristic at the same time. Very hard to explain to somebody. I think if you like her other books, you may still enjoy this. It's just not quite to the level of weird, creepy upsettingness of those books. I think the best part of this was the very ending, where we're getting like a darkened, twisted version of the main character. Like I was waiting for that moment where the main character kind of loses her mind, and we did get that, but just like the last chapter, it was like just a hint of where she was going towards the end of the book. So it was really fun. I gave it 4 stars, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as Earthlings or Convenience Store Woman. I do definitely think that Life Ceremony had a couple of stories that really tied into the ideas that were in this book. I think maybe she was working out some ideas within this short story collection that later turned into this book. There's a story in there about sperm, and there was a story about death in there, and being a family unit that is different from normal. So I think those were fleshed out in this book, and it was really fun. I do recommend it if you are a fan of her work, or if you're interested in reading about a different way at looking at human beings and the way that we procreate and the family unit. It was really weird, really interesting, and I did enjoy it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that you have a wonderful, fantastic day. I have today off. It's a Monday right after Easter, and I might try to get this video up ASAP just because I have completed it, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to read next. So I'm really excited. I've just been really diving into manga and books lately. Like, I went through a short period there where I wasn't really wanting to read anything, and now I want to read everything. So it's really fun. It's been great. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. See you soon, and let me know what you're reading. Bye guys.